With any somatic movement practice, we want to start by releasing the core muscles, the lower back, the abdominal, and the pelvis. And then from there we can move outward. This video is to introduce you to some very basic somatic movements to release those core muscles. This is a great way to start your somatic practice on a daily basis. There are many variations of these movements, which I teach in my online classes and in-person workshops. Visit www.woodlandsomatics.com for more information.
We'll start by lying down face up on a flat surface and taking a moment to sense into the state of our bodies at this point in time. Notice if it brings relief to lie down. Make note of any areas of your body that are calling out to you right away. Take a deep breath, filling up the belly like a balloon, and slowly let it out. How does it feel to breathe? What is moving, expanding, shifting as you breathe? Begin a body scan from the top down, noticing the feeling of each area and its shape and space, creating a full snapshot of your body at this point in time. How does your face feel? The muscles in your jaw, around your eyes. How do your ears feel? Notice the way that the base of the skull and neck touch the floor, if at all. Sense into your shoulders and how they rest to the floor. Moving down the arms, do they touch the ground equally? Down the sides of your waist, does one side of your waist feel longer than the other? Is one leg more turned in or turned out? Is one leg feeling longer than the other? Think about your ankles and your feet, the angle at which your feet are resting. When you're ready, bend your knees, bringing your feet to the floor and letting the arms lie down by your sides. We're going to begin with a movement to release the lower back. Do this slowly and gently. Somatic movements should never be painful or uncomfortable, so if you feel any unpleasant sensations, feel free to modify by making the movements smaller. Inhale into your lower belly and gently roll your pelvis forward, arching your lower back and sticking out your belly. This is a very small movement. Your hips remain on the floor, and all you're doing is creating some space between your lower back and the floor. Exhale and slowly begin to release your lower back muscles, taking your time to return to your neutral starting position. Be careful not to engage the abdominal muscles here. We're not pressing back into neutral or pressing against the floor just yet, but rather just allowing the back to return to its natural position. Take another inhale and gently roll the pelvis forward, creating that arch in the lower back. And during your exhale, begin to slowly release those lower back muscles, taking your time to return to your back's natural position. Fully relax at the end before beginning one last repetition. On your next inhale, arch your back. Slowly release the arch from your back and relax. Now we're going to move to the front of the body and release the abdominals. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, flatten your lower back into the floor using your abdominal muscles, drawing your sternum and pelvis toward each other. Then, taking your time, release that contraction and let the natural arch return to your spine. Take a big, full breath here, letting the body fully relax in between each movement. Take an inhale. Then on the exhale, press the lower back into the floor, lengthening the back side of the body and hollowing out your belly. As you begin to release, feel the length return to the front of your body and the natural arch return to the spine. Repeat this movement one more time, and this time try to notice how other parts of your body might be responding. Maybe the neck wants to tilt forward or backward, or there's some subtle movement in the shoulders or chest. Everything in the body is connected. Take your time to release, and then completely relax. Straighten your legs and check in on your body. What do you notice? Has anything changed? Our next movement is meant to release the glutes. When you are ready, roll over to lie on your belly. You can rest your head on your hands, facing downward or to the side, and let your legs relax with your heels falling outward. Now, roll your heels inward toward the center of your body. Notice what engages with this small movement, then slowly let your heels roll back outward, keeping the release controlled. Take a breath here and pause. Try that movement again, rolling the heels inward toward the center of the body, feeling what muscles engage to do this, and then slowly release, letting the heels roll back outward and letting your whole body sink into the floor, feeling the relaxation in the glute, the lower back, all the way up to the middle of the body. Repeat the movement one more time, rolling the heels inward, and then slowly, taking your time, let them roll back outward until your legs and hips and lower back are fully relaxed. Turn your head to the right, relaxing on your right hand. Let your left arm rest down by your side. Keeping your head on your hand, tilt your right elbow upward toward the sky. Feel what muscles are contracting with this movement, then slowly lower the elbow back to the ground. It's normal if the release feels a bit jerky, and that's a sign that there's a good deal of tension in your upper back. Try that again, tilting the elbow upward, and then take your time to lower it down slowly. Pay close attention to the last 10% of the movement, noticing the sensation as the elbow touches the ground and gets to release its weight little by little until it fully relaxes. Now you're going to lift the elbow, neck, and hand all together just an inch above the ground. It's not a huge movement, just a little hover. Then let the upper body slowly melt back down toward the ground and rest. Notice the difference between this and the first movement, if there are different muscles that engage here as you lift again. Let the upper body lower down, and notice the feeling as your neck gets to give the weight of your head back to the ground. Let your neck and back fully relax now, melting into the floor. We'll now bring the lower body into this movement. Focus on your left leg. Roll the left heel inward and then hover the left leg just above the ground while you simultaneously lift your right elbow, hand, and head in a cross-body lift. Allow the whole body to slowly melt back downward, feeling the moment your neck returns to the floor and gives the weight, feeling your leg relax and your heel roll back outward. Try that cross-body lift again, beginning by rolling your left heel inward, lifting your straight left leg, your right elbow, hand, and head, and hovering them just above the ground. Then take your time to let it all melt back down, noticing what gets to soften in each part of the body as you release. We'll do that one more time, rolling your left heel inward, lifting your straight left leg, your right elbow, head, and hand, and then slowly letting it all come back down, fully releasing to the ground. At this point, we've released one side but not the other, so it's a good time to pause and compare the two sides. Take just a moment to lie on your back and sense in, comparing your left and right hips and back. Note whether you can now sense any tenseness in your left shoulder or right hip, which may have been previously invisible. Then, when you're ready, turn over to your stomach again, this time with your head turned to the left, resting on your left hand. Your right arm can be down by your side. Tilt your left shoulder upward, noting where you feel a contraction. Then slowly lower the elbow back down to the ground, releasing little by little into the floor. Take an inhale, and on the exhale, again tilt the left shoulder upward. Take your time to let it slowly melt back down, feeling what softens as you relax into the floor. Breathe in. As you exhale, this time lift the left hand, elbow, and head all together. Notice what engages, and then allow the upper body to melt back downward. Notice the feeling as the weight of the head transfers to the ground and any relief that brings to your neck, and rest. Do that again, cueing into any subtle movements that might be happening throughout the rest of your body with this lift, any shifting of weight, any parts that press downward into the floor. And then as you begin to lower back down, how does it feel as your shoulder hits the ground, as the neck hits the ground, as you fully release into the support of the floor? We'll now bring your right leg into this movement. Roll the right heel inward and then hover your straight right leg just above the ground while you simultaneously lift your left elbow, hand, and head in a cross-body lift. Allow the whole body to slowly melt back downward. Once your leg has released to the floor, allow the heel to roll back outward and relax. Take a breath, and then we'll do that again. Roll your right heel inward, lift your straight right leg, your left elbow, head, and hand. Then take your time to let it all melt back down. We'll do one final lift on this side and cue into what is happening in your hips, the transfer of weight to the left side as you lift, and then gradual transfer back to the right side as you lower the body back to the floor. When you're ready, roll over to lie on your back. Straighten your legs if it is comfortable and check in. Notice how the back and shoulders rest to the ground now. Observe the space between your neck and the floor. Has anything changed since we checked in at the very beginning of this practice? Spend as much time here as you would like, breathing and relaxing.
It's really quite amazing how different the body feels after just a few simple, gentle movements. What you've experienced here is just the beginning of what is possible. You can feel free, happy, and capable in your body. In my online classes and in-person workshops, you'll learn all kinds of variations to these movements that'll bring in the arms, the legs, the hands, the feet, and even the face. To learn more about somatic movement, visit www.woodlandsomatics.com. I hope to see you at an upcoming event.